Hello everybody, this is Elizabeth Sumerlin and I'm going to talk to you today about making a professional PowerPoint slide. Now I gave you this handout in class about what I want for you to have on your capstone PowerPoint presentation, and you've been making PowerPoint since you were a child, but now I want you to make a PowerPoint that is professional and engaging, and that comes with a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of help on some of your skills. So what we're going to do is have this paper off to the side as I go through this lecture, and let's look at this practice PowerPoint. Now I've sent you this PowerPoint as it is, so you can go ahead and pull it up, but I'm going to make some changes and discuss with you some tips and tricks to make it look a little bit better. Now this is a former student, and he knows that I use this PowerPoint. This was his rough draft, and we did fix it. One of the first things you're going to notice is that his topic slide here, his first slide, is in the different design from the rest of his slides. Yeah, some of it's kind of the same color, but it's different. This is a very angular slide right here with some black on it, and these slides are the wavy top slide. So I want to make sure everything is the same moving forward. The best way you can do that is to click on the first slide, go to design, and then find the design you want. This is not my favorite. It's the one he uses, so it's the one I'm going to use, but I'm partial to like this over here, but let's go with what he chose. So he wanted the wavy. We're going to do all of it with the wavy. Now if you look at this, if you look here, one of the things I'm going to do throughout this lecture is I'm going to duplicate the slide and then show you before and after as I change it. So let me duplicate this. To do that, you right click over here, you click duplicate, and suddenly you have two of the same slide. This can help you copy formatting without having to copy and paste. So I'm going to change this slide. The first thing you might notice is that his name is really hard to see. I'm going to want to change that to, I think white is going to be the best thing to see, so I'm going to change that font to white. It just stands out a little bit better. And it's in what I call the screw up font. The screw up font is that you had a font you were using at home and you loved it so much, and when you take it to bring it to school, the school computers don't have that font. So it gives you this default font, which I don't think looks very good. I prefer a chunkier font, something that's got some substance behind it. You can do Arial Black. You can do this one. I like that one. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to erase BY colon. This is not a small child's art project. We know that you did it. So move your name to the bottom, maybe make it a little bit bigger, put it down there at the side. We know that if they're speaking about it, you probably did this project. The next thing is that I want to make this a little bit bigger. Ooh, it's gone to the next line, so we just stretch it out some. And I want to get rid of the screw up font because I hate it. I hate that screw up font. See, it just gives it some more substance. I don't like the color it is. I think I want to go with white. That's just going to be more clean. So if you click on this, the format button opens at the top, and you have your word art styles that suddenly appear. So you can scroll through all these different word art options, or you can just change the color and outline over here. So I can click this option and it'll change everything, or I can go to outline, make my words white, make my outline blue, and no, white. Oh, I need white. There it goes. And it's all done. Though I think if I'm going to do an outline on those words, I need to do an outline on these words as well. So let me hit the outline button. Oh wait, that needs to be just a little bit darker, so I want it to look good, so I'm going to make it a darker blue to make it match those words a little bit better. Okay, so this slide versus this slide. Alright, one of them is easier to see and one of them looks a little bit better. I still think this needs to be a little larger, so let me make it a little bit bigger. I'm a big fan of having a font a title slide that everyone can see. Okay, so again, if you want to put a picture here, you totally can. So let's go to the next slide. The next slide is actually two slides that are pretty bad. Can it get any worse? Yes, but we're going to make it much, much better from here. So his project is all about the stress of a surgeon's life. So he talks about, can it get worse? All jobs are stressful, but surgeons' lives are more stressful. This is an unnecessary slide. So what I want to do is I want to delete the slide completely and move on with my life. So I'm going to look here instead. Let me duplicate the slide so you can see the before and after. Taking a look in slide, the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of that screw up font. And again, I don't want to change too much of his I don't want to change too much of his words because it is his words. I just want to help show you that it can be better than it is. So I change the color, I change the outline, and I move it up. Move it on up. Taking a look inside. So his words are also in a screw up font, so we're going to fix that. They're a little small, so we're going to make them a little bit bigger. His bullets are a little off, but if your bullets ever give you a problem, just highlight everything, click the button, the bullet button, and then click it again, and it should fix most of your problems. Now look down here at his pictures. I think most of these pictures are terrible. What is this about? Work, balance, life. This is cliche. I don't need cliche pictures. I don't understand why we have a girl reading a bunch of books. That's not what I'm talking about here. His project is about surgery, so surgery picture totally works. But I can't just have one picture. I need something else to take up space here. If I go back here, this picture is silly. I don't like that picture at all. I'm going to get rid of that picture. But I do think that this picture of this woman leaning against the wall is a good picture to use because she does look stressed out. She's obviously in a hospital. She's obviously having a hard day. So I'm going to cut that picture off that slide. I'm going to paste it on this slide, and I'm going to move it off to the side. Well, now these pictures are way not the same size, which brings me to my next point. Balancing pictures. Human beings love symmetry. We love it when things look the same on either side. We find that to be very beautiful, and of course in your PowerPoint it's going to make your PowerPoint look better, more engaging. How do I make the pictures the same size? The easiest way I can do it is to put one picture over the other picture. Alright, they are obviously not the same length. An easy way to do this is to crop a picture. So if you click on a picture, the little format button opens up here. You can go to crop, and you just cut this picture down the size you need it to be, or approximately what you need it to be. Now they are about the same size, or they're good enough. And then you can arrange them. And if you see these little lines that suddenly appear on the PowerPoint slide, this is the PowerPoint slide helping you out. It's like, hey, do you want to know what level is? Here's level. And it helps you. This is so wonderful. They're about the same size. Now to make them look even better, you'd put a border on them. Bordering a picture on a PowerPoint is like matting a photograph you put on the wall. Yes, you can throw a photograph in a frame, but if you mat it, it just looks way better. So click on the picture, and when you do, that format button will open, and I say go with the frame that is simple. Simple is always best. And now suddenly you have two pictures that are framed. They look very professional. This one might need to be a little bit taller, but they're very professional and they look pretty good. If you compare them to the other slides, well, we've destroyed, oh, this is the original slide. So compare these two slides. One of them looks better than the other. All right, so moving on. His next part is talking about his product, his first-hand experience. He got to job shadow a doctor, he got to witness a surgery, and he got to help patients in recovery. Wonderful, this is great. I'm not messing with his content at all. I am going to fix his fonts because I dislike this font, you may have noticed. I'm going to make sure it's white and bordered. I'm going to put it up a little bit. I am going to fix his words a little here. Font needs to be right. Make sure they're white. His buttons are a little messed up, so I'm going to fix his buttons. Again, just highlight, click, and unclick, and it'll fix your buttons. Now look at this picture. Look at this. It's all stretched out and weird. He's been trying to take up space, and that's good. You want to take up space, but you don't want to take up space in a weird way. So the best thing to do is to click this picture, squeeze it back down to how it looks like a normal picture again. You can see all the action, but now there's no space for my words. An easy way to do that is just to crop it down. Get rid of all the junk in this picture. I don't need to know all this stuff off the side. I don't really need to see all of this. I can bring some of this down a little bit. I can bring this up a little bit. And suddenly, by cropping this picture a little bit, it seems like a little more of an intense situation. You focused in on the action. So I'm going to move that to the side. And I am going to put my words over here. I'm going to balance them off to the side. So now I have words balanced with a picture. And it will tell you again with the line. It'll show you when it's even. I'm going to put a border on this, and now look. I might even make this a little bit bigger. This needs to be a touch bigger. Alright, so now look. You've got this. Oh, I forgot to copy that slide. Whoops. No big deal. I can still show you before and after. I'm just going to copy this slide, and then I'm going to undo all that stuff that I did. So again, if you ever have a problem with PowerPoint, you just click the undo button until it's back to where it used to be. So blah de blah. I'm getting it back further and further. So I want to paste that slide that I had originally. So we have old slide, marginally, new slide. It just looks neater. Now down here, we have the big square of death. This is a video that he has not loaded correctly. I'm going to fix the font first of all, just while I'm here. Border and everything. Move that up a little bit. This is the big X of death. Now, this is easy to fix. All you have to do is click on it. Well, I'm probably going to just want to delete it at this point. You need to go to Insert, Video, Video on my PC, and then you'll have to find where you've loaded that video. Now, I don't have his video anymore, but I can show you someone else's video. Let's see. Leanna will let me borrow. Oh, she's deleted all her videos. Asia will let me borrow her video really quickly. So I'm just going to insert Asia's video here. And as you might notice, Asia's video is the wrong way. Like it's on its side because it was shot with a cell phone. You can always take the little circle-y thing on the side and you can move it. So now I can suddenly see Asia's video without killing my neck. But it does take up a lot of my room, so you might just want to move this stuff off to the side. And if you do, you're just going to make that bigger. Ta-da! You can even put a border on it as well. Any kind of border you want. And there, you have a video that will play. Yay! So moving on, he has this slide, which is just a repeat, so I want to delete that. I want you to try to keep this to 6 slides total. And then we get back here. This is his last slide. He's got a picture of him and his mentor. I don't really understand why we have this random brain picture. That's an unnecessary picture. We go here. We're going to fix his font. Oh, before I do that, let me duplicate this picture. All right, I'm going to duplicate that slide. So we go in, we fix his font. We're going to border it, move it up just a little bit. We're going to delete that terrible picture right there. We're going to make this picture the star of the show because it is the most important picture. We're going to put a border on it. And now it does have some dead space off to the side, so I can cut that in just a little bit. And it balances pretty well. Again, those lines will tell you when it's even. I move that up, and then we have our final slide. So let's look at the difference between those. We've got this slide versus this slide. One of them just looks cleaner, and that's the name of the game when you get to PowerPoint design. You want it to be a clean, neat, organized thing. One more little tip and trick that I can give you before we go. If you want to make your words really stand out, like maybe you have a really cool background but you can't see the words behind the background, if you click on the text box and you go to Format, you can actually fill that text box with color. And then suddenly, you of course will have to make your words not white. Suddenly, you have a box that you can do something else with, and you can throw an outline on that box as well by going to Outline and Color. If you go to Weight of the outline, you can change the border of that box. So you can make a whole different look and change the color of that as well. Everything is at your disposal here. Well, let me show you as well. You can change the transparency of this box if you go to Shape Fill and you go to More Colors. Down here at the bottom, you can control how much of that box you can see. And if you move the transparency, it'll just make that box transparent. This helps you to see words that might be difficult or to make a little bit of emphasis. Okay, so tomorrow I want you to come to class with your PowerPoint ready, done, and looking professional. And from your PowerPoint, we're going to work on your speech. So it's very important you have your PowerPoint done and looking good and final before we move on to that next step. All right, have a good time. Bye.